Welcome, everybody. My name is Teresa Russell. I'm current club president of the Dublin Worthington Rotary Club, and I want to welcome you to our 18th meeting of our 49th year. And in the absence of Keith Barnhart, Mike Moulton is going to offer the prayer of the pledge for us.
Let us pray. Thanks to the Lord for all that He has given us, especially our democratic society, which showed yesterday that everybody has the opportunity to voice their opinion. Thanks for everything that He has given us, to our food today, our use to His service. In His name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Mike. And then we have Jim Farmer, president-elect.
We have a couple of guests today. Our speaker, Deputy Laura Starr, will be introduced later, but she brought along her personal photographer, Tracy Truex, she's with her. And then also we have Nancy McCorkle today from Columbus Rotary. Nancy, please stand up and explain yourself.
Well, I was saying that, which we did. I used to visit your meetings when you were at La Scala, and when I was trying to keep my perfect attendance, and it was such a treat to have Costa every week. As you pick up on that, I said, "Oh, you'd get tired of it." But it's been a while since I visited. I belong to Columbus downtown Rotary, and we just switched 100 years of having lunch at noon on Mondays to a breakfast meeting on Tuesday. So I'm kind of wandering.
I understand 6:30 comes off where all you change. Okay. We may want to.
Okay, Nancy, well, thanks for dropping by.
Anybody with announcements, please make your way up, and Jerry has a question.
Yeah, question, how much is breakfast at the Scioto Country Club?
$25.
$25, you hear that?
That's a lie. There you go, Dick. You can start. Number one. You can start moving. You got a great speaker today.
Afternoon, it's poinsettia time. This is our first week of poinsettia sales, and I'm proud to announce we're well over 100. Thanks to Teresa, who sold 78 already, and I've got a sale of about 25 with 30 in the line, so that's a great start. So, but we do want to sell poinsettias this year, where our goal is 650. So get out there and take your time to sell them. Remember, you can buy them for your friends, for your family, and there's also a line on the spreadsheet for charity. And in years past, John Butterfield has been gracious enough to deliver at least 100 plants to various nursing homes around the area. So sign up. Woo!
Okay, you guys, y'all know when I put these on, what this means, right? It's Christmas. It's Christmas and we need you. For all the old members, you know that we collect gifts, brand new gifts, gift wrapped, brought back here to our meetings, and then we deliver them to the 3 locations for children's families that are in great need. And the schools are the ones who pick out these families in the most need. Now, for the new members, I'll be sitting back there starting next week at a table, and I'll have gift cards made up, and you can select what items you would like to buy for a child. And then you wrap them, bring them back to me, and I will see that they're delivered. We're going to start this next week, and then the last day to bring in your gift wrap gifts is the 9th of December. So please don't forget, we need you guys on Zoom. We need you because this year we have 11 children. So that's a little more than we normally have. We've been up to 9, but we have 11 this year. We need your help. So you'll see me back there with probably my ears on, so thanks.
Hello all. As you probably know, I'll be going down to Veracruz, Mexico for several months now in December. We have a partner club down there. In fact, several partner clubs that are working with the Paul Harris Center. This is a center that does outreach to a needy community in the city of Veracruz. I've been in touch with the administrator of this center, who's also a Rotarian, and she has expressed an interest in our working with them on a collaborative project, which would be to provide glasses to the needy community. As you all know, glasses are a big thing with the Lions Club, but for some reason, she wants to come to Rotary and work with us. I have gotten some initial commitments from a group of undergraduate students of Ohio State University from the optometry department or program that they'll help. But I was wondering if you would have some extra spare glasses around your home that you might be willing to bring in next Wednesday to, in a sense, serve this needy community. I'll be taking the glasses with me, and obviously they'll have to be refit. There are several Rotarians down there who are optometrists and will be working on this. At any rate, any glasses that you may have, spare glasses around the house that you might bring next Wednesday would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Hey, Dave, did that include the readers?
Yes, in fact, I had a long conversation with this administrator of the Paul Harris Center, Marisa Munoz, and she indicated that reading glasses would be fine, and also if you have sunglasses, they might also be much appreciated. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna make this announcement since somebody else has, that, yesterday, in an example of democracy at its best, one of our club members actually got enough votes to get reelected to William City Council. So let's hear it for Rachel Dorothy.
And I think Steve is being a little shy today, but we still have a bourbon raffle going on. And it's November. We draw at the end of the month. And Jerry is our sergeant today.
Last week I was the sergeant, I stood in for Alan Grossman. Today I'm the sergeant, I'm standing in for Connie Hendrick. So I'm the stand-in sergeant, not the stand-up sergeant, just the stand-in sergeant. And the stand-in sergeant is gonna carry the pot as well. And so today I'm looking for happy dollars. Now, who has a happy dollar? If you don't feed the pot now, you will later. All right, yeah, Mike Bolton thinks he has a happy dollar.
Happy dollar for my birthday yesterday.
Hey, that's good. 29 years old, your life loves it. If only you could. No, you're putting in the first dollar. Yeah, that's good. And here's Harry, he's got $1 in his hand. Is that for his birthday?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, that's it.
Anybody who's 29 is just.
Yeah, he's 29, okay, here we go.
My niece runs both cross country and track varsity for West Holmes High School, and she made it to the state meet cross country and the state semifinal for soccer.
All right, that sounds like a good deal. All right. And Jim?
Well, regarding birthdays, my birthday is tomorrow and I'm really happy to have one.
That's great. Now, same thing, that'd be perfect, wouldn't it be? Okay, anything else? Okay, first of all, as you all know, Saturday is Veterans Day. Now, Veterans Day, I'd like to point out to you, Veterans Day is not a plural or a possessive. It's simply veterans. Memorial Day honors all service members who have died. Veterans Day is for all who served, dead or alive. So if you're alive and you're a veteran, thank you and happy Veterans Day. All right, now for the money. We had Socktober. Lynn Wixel must have given every pair of socks that he owns. Because today, he's not wearing any. If you didn't donate to Socktober, put $1 in the middle of the table. On this date, in 1731, none of you were alive. Benjamin Franklin opened his first library in North American colonies. If you know Bonnie Beth Mitchell, pay $1 as a book fine. Put it in the middle of your table. On this date, in 1789, bourbon whiskey, you know where I'm going. Bourbon whiskey first distilled from corn by Elijah Craig in where else? Bourbon, Kentucky. If you aren't on the board of either the foundation or this club, and you haven't bought a bourbon raffle ticket, put in $2. Woo! Now, on this date, in 1864, again, none of you were alive, although close. There's Ford. Is Ford here today? That's pretty close. Abraham Lincoln was elected to his second term. If you didn't vote in the election, put in $3. All right. Now, there's no jokes today. I simply have a rhetorical, yeah, that's a good thing, isn't it? Yeah. Now, you just wait until you're actually president. Today, I have a rhetorical question for you. What is it that you want to get out of Rotary? What do you want to get out of your membership in Rotary? And what are you doing to make sure that happens?
All right. Great.
Our speaker today is Deputy Laura Starr, who began her career with Franklin County Sheriff's Office in May of 2000. After serving 5 years working at the Franklin County Corrections Center on Jackson Pike, she transferred to the Community Relations Division. Her primary duties include teaching the DARE program to fifth grade students in various elementary schools within Franklin County, as well as providing safety talks on a variety of topics to all age groups. In 2008, she was one of 4 deputies who helped establish the Rape Aggression Defense Systems, an international program that defines, develops, and enhances the self-defense of women who are attacked. Deputy Starr is passionate in her desire to help the citizens of Franklin County learn all possible ways they can protect themselves so they avoid becoming a victim of any crime. In her presentation today, Deputy Starr will share risk reduction strategies for when you're at home, in your car, or going through your daily routine. Please help me welcome Deputy Starr to our podium.
Good afternoon. like he said, I am Deputy Star. I've been with the Sheriff's Office just over 23 years, started out in the Corrections Division, and I've been in Community Relations for the last 18 or so. And I've been a certified RAD instructor since 2008. So today we're mainly going to talk about personal safety. And you will win 100% of the fights you were never involved in. So if you are in it, you won it. So for any crime that occurred, doesn't matter what the crime is, 3 things have to be in play. There needs to be a victim, an assailant, and the opportunity. All 3 of those need to be in place. So the strategies I'm going to share with you are going to allow you to remove the foundation of opportunity. If a person doesn't have the opportunity to be the bad guy making you the victim, then that crime cannot occur. So we're going to talk about risk awareness, risk reduction, risk recognition, and risk avoidance. That right there is 90% of self-defense. Never mind any of the strategies that you may learn in a physical self-defense class. Having that risk knowledge, that's 90% of it. So you aren't putting yourself in a position or in giving an assailant the opportunity to make you a victim. Probably the biggest thing I can share with you is being aware of yourself and your surroundings is probably the single most important aspect of risk avoidance. And there's a fine line here. That doesn't mean you have to walk around scared to death, panicked, and looking over your shoulder constantly in fear. But at the same time, we also shouldn't be walking around in absolute oblivion as we're going through our day. There are times that I will fill in for the school resource officer at one of our 2 high schools in Franklin County. And of course, in between classes, the kids, their faces are glued to their phone on their way to and from. And I just absolutely enjoy as I'm walking down the hall and they're walking towards me, completely unaware that they're about to walk into me. And I just stop and wait and their startled reaction when they realize they're about to run into me. So we're going to talk about some risk reduction strategies. So the first place we're going to talk about is your home. So first, if you think your home is secure, nobody can break in, feel good about leaving it, I challenge you to try to break into your own home. Might want to warn your neighbors so you don't freak them out that something's going on if they can't actually see that it's you. But if you are able to get into your own home as an amateur, a professional is going to be able to get in there easy as can be. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your home as secure as possible. Starting with our drapes or our blinds. I understand, especially now that it's dark at 5 o'clock and our electric bills have shot through the roof, that we want to allow as much natural light into our homes as we possibly can. But once the sun goes down, it's not going to do you any good. So keeping those in mind. So with blinds, instead of having them come from the bottom up, maybe consider having them come from the top down. One, that way somebody can't look in at the main level of your home and see everything that's in there. But by having the upper part come down, that's going to send the light to your ceiling and light up the room better and longer. Because at nighttime, people can look right into your home. So if you have your blinds open or your drapes open, they see everything that's going on in there. You have no idea what's happening outside, because in order for you to see outside, you have to pretty much have your face plastered up against your window to be able to look out. So don't allow somebody to be able to see into your home whenever they want. If you want to leave your blinds open during the daytime when you're gone, maybe angle them up a little bit. So that way, when you come in, there's a light, or if you're still in your home, there's a light, but somebody can't look straight in because your blinds are completely straight, just having that angle. Outdoor lighting, consider the motion sensitive lights. They have actual light bulbs. You don't have to go out and, install a new fixture to have the outdoor lighting automatically come on when somebody walks by. They actually have light bulbs now that, more expensive than the normal one, but still could be cheaper than going to the extreme of changing out the fixture. A lot of times people say, well, you know, as soon as somebody walks up, they notice the light come on and they know that it is a motion sensitive light. Sure, but not only are you lighting up things for them to be able to see, you're also lighting them up. People can actually see them. And we all have some nosy neighbors that are always looking at what's going on, which I love nosy neighbors because they help our job. But they don't want to be seen. They want the house that's very dark, don't have their porch lights on, no post lights, no lights on next to their garage. So lighting them up makes them more visible, which is the last thing they want. Now, as far as your home on the outside, shrubbery. I can't figure out where the windows or the door is in this home. It's all overgrown, and I understand, you know, the whole curb appeal. And if there is a split level home, a lot of times, and I don't know if you can see in that picture, those lower level windows, people always want to cover those up because they feel like they're ugly. So they want to, you know, obscure those, but you don't want to block them completely. Because if you block them completely, you're providing cover for somebody trying to break into your home through those lower level windows. So here's a perfect example. Overgrown, you can't see the windows, especially the bottom of the windows, and just taking a little bit of time to trim the shrubbery. We suggest about 6 inches below the edge of the window. So that way there's nothing that's providing cover for the person if they're trying to go in through your window. If it is an area that you kind of say it's a lower level window, you want to cover up, I always suggest thorny bushes. So barberries are beautiful. There's just a lovely shade of red and they have thorns. So if somebody's trying to get into your home through a window and there's barberries all that, they aren't going to want to stick around because they're tired of getting poked with the thorns on the shrubs. So something to keep in mind. The plate on your door, those plates are screwed in with the, like these 1/2 inch itty bitty little screws. We suggest taking those out and replacing them with a 3-inch screw, because that will go all the way through into the framing of the door. You know, when you see somebody having, you know, the TV shows or whatever it might be, a door being kicked in, it's typically because they kicked hard enough that those screws couldn't hang on and that plate drops out and it's easier to open that door. So by going directly in with a longer screw, and again, very inexpensive fix, then that way it's less opportunity for somebody to be able to kick in your door. If you have a peephole, one, look through it and make sure it's in there correctly. I know somebody who had an apartment and their peephole was very distorted whenever they would try to look through it, because it was installed backwards. So the person outside could look in just fine into their apartment. So make sure that one, yours is actually installed correctly and that you can actually see out, but two, actually use it. If you aren't expecting someone and somebody knocks on your door, you don't have to open that door. You can look through and see who it is. You can talk to them through the door. You don't have to open it. If you have a screen door, it's not a bad idea to always keep that locked, if that is not your main method in and out of your home. I know some people are vertically challenged, so you may need to keep a little stool next to your door so you can actually see out the peephole, or you can install a second one down lower. So, you know, somebody that's taller can go down a little bit lower to look out the peephole. Somebody that's shorter, it's a little bit more difficult. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Another method, I call these a hotel bolt. So all it is, instead of the chain locks, chain bolts, simple, but it's amazing how effective this could be. For example, years ago, our SWAT team was making entry on somebody who had barricaded themselves into a hotel room and had put that across the door. And you know, the guy that's breaching the door is always your big beefy of the beefiest guys, swinging that battering ram. 13 swings before they got into the door. If somebody's trying to break into your house, they aren't going to make that much noise trying to get into your home. Every time they would ram the door, it would go as far as that would allow it, and then it'd shut right back. So again, simple fix, inexpensive, but still provides a fair amount of security. I actually had these on a home of mine, but it was to keep my, at the time, 3-year-old in my house. Because when I was tucking in her sister, she decided she wanted to take a walk in the neighborhood at 9:30 at night and gave me a heart attack. The security bars, and maybe you've seen these, any home improvement store, they may run 20 to 30 bucks at most. These are good for doors that you don't use often. I know growing up, the front door of our home, we never used. We always used a side door or a back door. So now my mom had a thing of drawer or shelves there that she had music on. So if somebody actually opened the door, they weren't going anywhere anyway. But basic, simple design, inexpensive, it's gonna provide support for that door so it's not easily kicked in. This also might be good for the door from the garage into the home, as well as if you have a service door on your garage. Typically, the service door, I know my mother-in-law has one, she only uses it starting from the inside going out. So if that's pretty much how you use the service door to your garage, that's another option as well to put there, so somebody can't easily go into your home through the garage. Camera systems, so they have gone down in price and up in quality. They are very helpful. However, I suggest making sure you know how to get the video off of your camera system onto a flash drive, onto a file to be able to share should it be needed. I had somebody share video with me. She's complaining about neighbor kids next door and something about breaking her tree. And I had probably 25 individual blips off of her camera because she didn't know how to connect it to make it one flip, and I still never saw anything. But it's easier just to be able to download it and share it should you need it, whether it's something that happened to your home, whether something happened in the neighborhood and somebody's asking, hey, does anybody have anything from their camera system that might show, you know, a car coming in or going out or license plate, whatever it might be. So just making sure that you know how to use your camera system and being able to download or share files should you need to. So used to, when you would go to unlock a window, a thing would stick out. It was very obvious that the window was unlocked. Now it's all about visually pleasing, and whether it's locked or unlocked, that latch is flush with your window. A lot of them have 2 locks on. So I suggest going through your home, and if there are 2 latches, make sure that both of them are locked. If there's one, still double checking that all the windows in your home are locked. Because if there's 2 latches on there, one's locked, one's unlocked, should there be an emergency, trying to find the magical combination in that state of panic to be able to open that window, should you need to be going out a window, if panic's gonna set in, it's gonna be difficult. One option might be to maybe just put a little dot on there so you can just peek at it and know, yep, both of them are locked. It's also not a bad idea if you have somebody who has come into your home to do any sort of work or service. Anywhere they've been, I would double check and make sure that the windows are locked, that both locks on that window are locked. So should they have other ideas, and 99% of the time, trustworthy, not a problem. But you just still, even in the basement or upstairs, you just want to double check. This is a rhetorical question. Please do not tell me if you do, because I don't want to know if you own any of these, whether it's the extra large key finder that's magnetic that you can stick somewhere, or the cute little turtle, or the fake rock that's in your flower bed. Everybody knows it's a fake rock, and there's a good chance there's a key to your house in there. If you have these, please throw them away. You do not need a key on the outside of your home. We don't hide them under the mat. That's not the place for hiding keys. We aren't gonna put them over top of the door jamb. I have known of people, now granted, it's been quite a few years ago, that would have it on a magnet in the back of their mailbox. There should never be a key outside your home. If you have issues with locking yourself out of your home or running off and forgetting your keys if somebody else is driving you, maybe consider giving a key to a neighbor, a family member, provided you trust that neighbor. Don't give it to your family member that's always on the go. They are gonna be of no use to you if you lock yourself out of the house. If your family's anything like mine, if they have to come over and let you in, they will continue to give you a hard time about that for about 6 months. But still, you always wanna make sure that you have somebody that is available to show up and to help you out. If you wanna avoid all this, the electronic door locks are also a good option. You might even consider changing it from time to time. Just provided that the people who know that code, that you want to have that code, gets the updated code. It's just a good idea if you are prone to locking yourself out of your home. So, and I don't know, if it's kind of dim in here. So athletes. This particular one, I actually took this picture in the Worthington area, and it's been a few years ago, but it has, you know, the school's athlete lives here. They have the mascot, they have a picture of the sport. These were cross-country runners. They have their name and their graduation year. So I drove by this house and I was like, oh my goodness, there are 2 teenage girls in that home, and everybody knows it now. And we have a computer in our hand with our smartphones now. So if anybody's considering your home for anything, all they have to do is go on the school's website, click on the schedule, and there's a good chance that that house is empty because the family is supporting their student athlete at their match or their meet, whatever it might be. My daughter was a student athlete. She knew in middle school, love you, proud of you, not putting it anywhere on the house. Same with graduation, didn't put a graduation banner. Too much information. That's just me. Any questions about your home? Yes.
An intruder does come into the house. Talk to us about the use of a gun to deter that.
Well, there is the castle doctrine. So if they are in your home and you have a fear for your life, you have every right to defend yourself. It's still gonna go, you know, to the grand jury and everything else, but.
If they're running away from you, you can shoot them in the back.
No, because
They're in the house.
it's not an ongoing threat. At that point, they are looking to escape the home, so therefore it's not an ongoing threat. So that would be, you know, if they were running away, that would be like, somebody tried to attack me, I got away from them when I got into my house, but then I came back out with a baseball bat and bludgeoned them. The threat was already done because I got away from them, but if I went back, now I'm starting a new attack. So that person was leaving, they were trying to escape because they didn't want to get shot and they didn't get anything. So in the back, I wouldn't advise. Yes,
Say this intruder's in your house.
yes,
What, I don't have a gun.
okay.
Okay, what do? Do I hide someplace? Do I try to get out of the house? Do I crawl under the bed?
You have a few options and it's whatever you're comfortable with. I would start throwing stuff at them.
Well, say they just got in the door in the kitchen and you're in the back of the house, and they don't know you're there. Or start throwing things at them.
If they come to you, I would start throwing stuff at them. Sometimes just the mere fact that there is somebody in the house, you can also barricade yourself into whatever room you're in. First thing off the rip, I'd be calling 911. So in that way you can say, there's an intruder there in my home. And locking yourself in there, if you are in a place where you feel more comfortable getting out of your home, at that point, it's your decision. So whatever makes you feel more comfortable. If you want to confront, go confront. Yeah, but I'd be throwing stuff at them.
Okay.
If they're coming at me, I'd start throwing stuff at them or barricade yourself in. But I mean, the first thing you want to do, if nothing else, call 911. Somebody's breaking into my house. This is my address, and just leave the phone there so so everything can be heard and recorded while you're on that open line. So that's always an option. Yes.
I just heard the other day that the thing that happened in parking.
Yes, you can hit the emergency. So,
I want to start calling you.
yeah, a lot of times having that, a lot of people will have it near their nightstand. I would keep losing my keys if I did that, but, having that there and hitting that emergency button where it starts honking and the lights start going off, and again, noise creates.
I heard if you have like children and someone, you know, comes in or something, that you're supposed to use like wasp spray
You can,
in their eyes.
Yep.
because it can't hurt, I mean, I've never.
it could, but
And,
you didn't invite them.
yeah. So I heard wasp spray,
Mhm.
spray hard, yeah.
Yeah, cause some people aren't comfortable with handguns or anything like that, which I absolutely understand. That wasp spray is definitely an option too, because it has the distance and the reach. Yes,
A bit of a special situation, but you buy a new house. For God's sake, or a used house, for God's sake, change all laws.
yes. My neighbor actually changes his locks every so often because he has people that do, work on his house, or a cleaning lady or whatever. And periodically he'll say, hey, I got a new key for you. Okay. Here's the old one back. So absolutely. And also any codes, like if there's a code for the garage, code for the door, changing all of those. Yeah. So out and about, if you get absolutely nothing out of this, get your face out of your phone. So, when you're walking to your car, having the key fob in your hand, 99% of the cars now have the remote keyless entry. Have it in your hand instead of trying to find it in the bottom of a bag or a purse. When you're focusing on finding your keys, you're tunnel vision. You have no idea what's happening around you. I know my mom always had kind of like a hook on her keys that she would keep it hooked around her purse strap. So that way she wouldn't go digging into her purse, because her purse probably weighed as much as my gear does. And she thought she needed to have everything in there, but at least she had, an option of how to get her keys without having to dig. But I would make sure those keys are in your hand before you even walk out of wherever you are heading to your car. Or they have the keychains that are like a wristlet that can go around your wrist. That's also another option. A lot of times we hear about, interlacing your keys in between your fingers. It can be used as a weapon. We don't advise that. One, you can get yourself hurt with the keys. Two, this is up close and personal. So if you have to use this to defend yourself, then you're right there with them, so something to keep in mind. Now, as you're walking to your car, it's not a bad idea to do just a visual scan, kind of look at your car. That doesn't mean you have to get extreme and get on your hands and knees and look under your car. But you want to be looking for, basic things like if you have a flat tire, if there's any fluids, red or green, those are a little concerning. So just being aware of anything that may be faulty with your car before you try to go along your way. When you get in your car, make sure that you lock your doors, especially at a gas station. I get out when I was teaching my oldest daughter to drive. I know I always got a hold of the keys and had them with me when I got out of my car to pump gas. And so this was her first time pumping gas. And so when I got out of the car, I locked the door, and she's like, I left the keys in there. Fortunately, AAA was literally around the corner, and they were able to come help us get the keys in the car. But a lot of times, I know some of my work car fills up on my passenger side, my personal car fills up on my driver's side. When we're looking at the numbers going up as it's filling up our tank and cringing, we aren't paying attention to the other side of our car. So being mindful, I know my mother-in-law was filling up gas, and she said that somebody was on the opposite side of the car talking to her, asking for some money. She's like, I'm sorry, I don't have any. They actually tried her car door while she was standing there. Because she's an older woman, they thought, well, if she has anything, I can just get it real quick and she won't know. She had her doors locked. So something to keep in mind, especially at a gas station. This happened a couple years ago in Columbus. So a person pulls up, they fill up on the passenger side. They were smart, then somebody pulls up beside them. Not thinking anything of it, oh, we're all getting gas. Again, not paying attention at all. That's her purse. She thought she was doing the right thing by just taking her credit card with her. And they handed the purse over to the person in the passenger seat. Yeah, quick, that took no time at all. So making sure you have those doors locked. So dust off that manual that's in the glove box or the console. If you have no idea where it is, they're all available online. And you can go in and select, because most cars, you put it into gear, it locks, you put it in park, it unlocks. And it typically, it's set up where all of them unlock and all of them lock at the same time. You can actually select which doors unlock, and some of them, it's even when. For example, I had a car that it would unlock the driver's door only, not when I put it in park, not when I turned it off, but when I put the key out of ignition, it only unlocked the driver's door. Of course, as my girls were getting older, they kept pulling on the handle like, hey, let me out. Sure. So go in there and select those modes on when they lock and when they unlock. So you have that option, so use that option. Don't leave anything of value in your car. Don't make it easy. Don't let people shop. We had 13 theft reports in one area in the course of a month from cars, and all but one of them was unlocked. And I read things of iPads, their son's baseball gear bag with 2 expensive bats and gloves and all this, making it too easy. They should walk by your car and see absolutely nothing. So if you park outside and you have the garage remote, I suggest taking it off the visor and taking it inside with you. Some people say, oh, but then I keep forgetting it every time I would go to leave. I would hook it through your key ring. That way the 2 of them are together. Whenever you need to leave, you have your remote. So that way it's not out in your driveway and people can get into your home. Your navigation system. We are so reliant on them, whether it's on our phone, whether it's on our car. If you know where you live, you do not have to enter your address into your GPS in your car where it stays. Because if you're out somewhere and somebody decides to steal your car, which has been a trend, all they have to do is hit home on your navigation. They know you aren't there. They just took your car from you wherever you were. And they have the garage door opener, so they're in. So if you have a hard time finding your way, I know people that are definitely directionally challenged. Put an address a couple miles from your home, maybe a business. So, because once I get there, I know how to get home from there. What's fun for me is like I'll put the grocery store or whatever if I'm way out of town. But usually once I just want to get on the road out of whatever city I'm in to make my way back. I love bumper stickers. They amuse and entertain me, but sometimes we are giving out way too much information with them. Whether it's our name on our license plate, appreciate the personalized license plate. I find it a challenge to figure out what in the world it says, since we can't write everything on there and missing out letters. But when you have the school on there, sports, it says my Yorkie loved me, I love my Yorkie. Okay, that's a little dog. It's probably not gonna be very good as far as protective if somebody steals your car and goes to your home. So there's so much information there. We say, oh, here's not only is it our stick family, but they have their name on it. And there's 3 children. And I would assume men are the same way, but especially women. If somebody is trying to abduct you or harm you in any way, they're gonna say, if you ever wanna see those 3 kids again, you're gonna do X, Y, Z. They know that's our Achilles heel. Don't tell them. They should not know that I have, 2 kids. It's none of their business. Sports, again, my daughter knew I wasn't putting anything on my car because this one says says the person's name, and where we already showed that you can get the schedule. Now what does she look like? A lot of schools have all their athletes' pictures on it, so they can start shopping. We actually were at a tournament at the convention center and somebody had their volleyball club sticker on their car and they crashed into one of our coaches. And they're like, oh, it was, yeah, I don't have time for this. It wasn't my fault. You were wrong. They leave and they go into the convention center to play. All all the teams and what court they're playing on is listed there. And she knew what club she played with. A lot of clubs have their athletes' pictures on their club website. They actually were able to have Florence police went with the coach who found the parent and they got cited for leaving the scene of an accident for one. And all because of the bumper sticker she had on the back. Any questions about your car and out and about? Yes.
Stay in motels when I go to Florida.
Mhm.
Are there much incidents of that happening when you're at a motel?
What, as far as somebody trying to break into your car or something
Yeah.
like that, I would, again, as long as you don't have anything, I wouldn't leave anything of value in your car. I would take everything in with me. But I don't think there's as much. I think that at a hotel, they're just looking for stuff you may leave in your car more than anything else, because you would be out of town, so. Yes,
I have a friend whose mother is 86 years old. She went to the bank ATM to take some money out.
mm-hmm,
Someone followed her home, beat her up, blood and dirt,
No.
took all her money, her purse, everything. How do you avoid something like that?
my favorite thing was when the grocery stores and all the places allowed you to, do extra cash. Like when you pay for your groceries, you can get cash back. That was the best thing ever. Just being mindful, maybe not going straight home. So. Yeah, I don't know if there's 100% way to combat that one, short of just being
I
aware.
think she felt that she was safer
Yeah,
if she got out of the car.
yeah. So as far as parking lots, thinking about where you park. There's been I know once upon a time they said, do not park in between two large vehicles. Can you control who's there when you come out? No. So I always suggest controlling your door. So whether you park next to cart corral, some people think, oh, I don't want my car to get dinged. Okay, let's be real honest, not enough people use those. So you're fine. And if you have kids or grandkids, there's a good chance that you're gonna get dings. So parking next to those islands, if there isn't one available, parking near the door, if you know it's gonna be dark, making sure that you park near a light. Parking garages, I would suggest parking next to the post. As far as ways to keep financially safe, my suggestion is doing a credit freeze with the main credit bureaus. So that way, if somebody tries to open up a credit card in your name or anything else, they aren't able to do it. You just have to keep track of the code or the PIN and the phone number. So if you say, oh, we're refinancing our house or we're buying a car, you can and I would ask the company that you're doing that with, hey, who do you use for your credit checks? Because I keep my credit frozen until I need to use it. So that's something to keep in mind, reporting at least to the three major ones. So putting safety first, that will help you avoid any of the worst things that could possibly happen. Yes.
I was gonna say, I live in a retirement village,
Mhm.
and it's surprisingly how many people put their cars in the parking lot and leave them unlocked.
Yeah.
Apparently this past summer, some kids found that out and a couple cars were broken and stolen, tried to be stolen.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we have a security system that
Yep.
they caught them, but,
Yeah.
things have happened and it saves you 30 seconds to lock the car. Is that all right?
Mhm. Well, and I'll even get in my car and lock the door, like if I, get in from having been somewhere, if I need to send a text, like a lot of times I'll send my husband a text, hey, I'm on the way home, especially when it's dark, and I lock the door while I'm sitting there doing that. Just so you aren't sitting there with your doors unlocked. So, and I'll stick around if anybody has any additional questions. This is all my contact information, plus at the back, I have a couple of our brochures from different programs that we offer. And they're all absolutely free to the community. Thank you. Thank you. Oh.
Thank you very much. That was, very informative. And we have a raffle, Paul. Oh, Jerry has a question first.
I don't have a question. I'm looking for Rachel. She has left. So, so I can't find her for. No, and she didn't leave early, and I mean, you know, spreading her name all around like that, we don't do that. So I want to find her, but I will next week.
With interest.
With interest.
Okay, today we have $27 in the weekly raffle, and we have 325 in the jackpot drawing, so. You grab one out of that? Okay. The last four numbers are 2611.
Thank you.
Yeah, what? In there, yeah. Okay, now for the jackpot, $325. Grab one out of there.
Business ticket.
Yeah.
You read it, I don't.
2665.
I got half of it.
I got 2 6.
Jim Allen.
All right.
6 weeks.
Ace of spades, right?
Ace of spades.
That one?
Yeah.
Five
Oh,
clubs.
all right. We'll be back next week or next week. I just want to thank everybody who volunteered today. Charlie Ball, Jim Allen as the greeter, Jim Farmer for helping us with the introductions, Jerry with all you do for Sergeant, Mike Moulton for stepping in and helping us on the invocation. Thank you all for volunteering. Thank you, Laura, for being here. And now we'll move on to the four-way test. We stand again. All right, of the things we think, say, or do first. Second. Third. And fourth. Thank you for coming. See you next week.
Please grab a pen on your way out.
And Jim Farmer, are we not here on the 22nd? Jim Farmer. No 22nd meeting?
Yeah, no meeting on the 22nd.
No meeting on November 22nd, y'all. Day before Thanksgiving. That's okay. That's okay. I know if you, like,
I didn't want you to put that in as long as he doesn't like it.
no, that's fine.
Okay. No, it was, I'm preoccupied.
No.
Not great. Not great.
Oh, you guys are so good. We all have like. What? Oh, Kurt's here.